CGI.
友達をたくさん作るんだ。
Person in the past memory having no eyes cliche. Character with their eyes perpetually shut cliche.
悪いね、予選当日だってのに夜勤まで。仕事っすから。シフト増やすか。
Given that here he says I might need more shifts, it seems that he was being thanked for working a shift right before the prelims were due to start and that perhaps that wasn't his scheduled shift. Hence the thanks. So him saying it's his job becomes redundant. It may not have been his shift, and even then it was right before something big in his life, so the thanks is warranted. Long way of saying, just take the compliment, dude. Saying the arena is that way while not pointing or gesturing in any direction. Since there's no wins version, they can take a send-off here for a scene I'd have talked about over on there with this lovely little continuous shot. Don't expect any sends-off after this, I just try and take one off if I can remember, so here we go. She says that she can't see anything and yet was quite happily attacking the thief multiple times and only missing him due to his constant dodging. For the first and only time of the video, now! Reaction occurs long after an attack cliche. Running on the spot. Also though, wasn't it just pointed out how they have nanobots inside of them allowing them to see each other's levels and thus who are weaker and stronger than them, and yet all of them decide to take him on purely because of how he looks? Secret Service protecting the president tells someone to stop, and when he doesn't stop, just continue to not do anything. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. I do find it a little odd that all of these fighters have extremely red ears and noses. This is also coming from a massive fan of mixed martial arts. I watch them literally every week, and I don't mean a Shane Dawson literally, I mean quite literally every week without fail. But their noses aren't red, their ears also aren't red, it's a bit weird and off-putting, that's just my take. Also, coming back to this, having now finished it, I realise that that's just the art style, everyone's got it, but it is also very weird and off-putting to me. Probably because you all took part in the tournament? It's not like he brought it up as you left the toilet at a restaurant and he turned the corner being like, why'd you join the God of High School, this and that? No, I don't think that makes any sense at all. That sword creates the splash size of a small human body! I mean, are those battery powered and gonna run out in 7 seconds? Or is he running a generator we can't hear? Or does he have the world's largest plug run into it? What? Also though, he works in a grocery store. Why are they needing these giant fat stationary lights that are basically the same height as a fully grown man? Also, he works in like a gaming cafe, coming back to this, but they wouldn't have need of it either. Also, you're bloody welcome. As someone who lifts weights 6 times a week, once per week entirely on biceps, this is a pretty poor exercise to be doing. His final attack had him facing upwards to the ceiling, but after he lands his downwards kick, he's facing down to the canvas. He makes it sound as though the spiky head dude was responsible for the guy who got his limbs broken by the dude in binds dropping out of the competition, even though he was severely beaten before he even got in the middle.
私が欲しいもの、それはいい男よ。
Talking fluently with a fully formed bubblegum bubble in your mouth.
ま、同じぐらい単細胞だけどね。
単細胞？誰が？
Assuming that she's talking about you.
一方的だな。勝負あったか。
Saying this is one-sided while he's continuously dodging attacks that had previously hit him each time before.
そういうのを狙って攻撃するのは卑怯だからな。ああ、悔しいな。
You know, in this anime and in many others like it, they love to say when someone is knocked out, like in this case. But in that other fight in episode 2, the guy looked unconscious several times over, laid face down, and they never said a word. They just know if they're awake or not. I'd like to see some evidence of them checking their little devices to check if they're awake or not, because normally you wouldn't know based on a heart rate or whatever they show.
まさかお姉ちゃんがあのソンジンと結婚するなんて。この国のスポーツエンターテインメントを代表する若き実業家。
Exposition? No, because I'm fairly sure that she would know all of this, being the one who is apparently going to marry him. I mean, what even happened there?
はあ？意味わかんねえ。好きだから結婚するんじゃないのかよ。
あんたには関係ない。出てって。ミラお姉ちゃん。今の人。なんでもないよ。大丈夫。ミラお姉ちゃん。
Saying someone's name instead of talking normally, cliche.
行けよ。サンキュー。
あんたたちに招待状は出してない。
お前本当に結婚したいのか？
The battle in the background is oddly silent considering it's taking place in the same room. Either that or maybe they took a quick break to just see what these two would chat about first. Fist clenching sound effects.
Worry がお前らを友達だと思ったことはない。
You know, for an arena with thousands of people in it who've paid good money to watch, they're incredibly silent during these matches, including during the lulls.
スミってば、それくらい自分でモテるからさ。ダメ、お姉ちゃんが完全に治るまで私が面倒見るの。
Or at the very least, her uncle could actually carry some of it.
気をつけて。
スンテ、ダメだよ。ダメだよ。起きてよ。スンテ。
For someone who said several times during the last episode to not be nosing into other people's business, she really went out of her way to find out this information on the guy.
ジンモリダウン！10! 9!
So oddly enough, in this circumstance, they just assume he's not unconscious and there's a random countdown for him to get back up, even though the only way to lose is to be out of it or verbally quit. Nothing about getting up from being beaten down.
お前。
聞いたぜ。お前仲間。
He could tell who he is from the back.
待つのは嫌いなんだよ。
強い方がかっこいいじゃん。なんだよ、変なこと言ったか俺。
No, they just continued to cross the road like you were doing before you stopped, and neither of them said anything or did anything either.
ユーミラさん？はい、どうぞ。
ありがとうございます。あ、実況の。
So to be clear, she was actively shopping, came across this dude, then decided to stop shopping in order to go and have a chat with him outside. That seems weird. Hope she didn't have any frozen stuff.
思いを剣に。最近フちゃんだんだんあなたに似て。
ちょっとフちゃんと先に車に戻ってて。
Really feels pointless saying he's blind in this anime and show him using a cane when he can basically see in every single normal way that we can.
これで俺の攻撃は数段階威力がアップする。
わし直伝の技じゃ。手人のテコンドーなどもはや過去の。
Who are you telling that to, though? Oddly masculine voice from those two ladies.
君も諦めるな。そうすれば必ず望みは叶う。
He hopes, anyway, since he's failed 3 times and still has yet to make it into high school at this point.
そこは K イコール2分の1ですよ。
There's at least 4 questions open in this book, and she comes up answering specifically one, as though it's definitely the one he's doing.
これが私の着陸バスタード。
There's no need for name calling, you silly!
気ぃついたか。
Asking someone if they're awake when they're awake, brought to you by the one country where someone will apparently ask you this when you're standing there mid-conversation with them, Japan.
面白い。
そこまでです。
He gets in the middle right away, but oddly enough, not when the maid lady on the guys' team jumped in to help him in spite of it not being her match as well.
スンヨンの足直すの怖くなってきた。
栄光と対策ってか入学テストじゃねえんだぞ。
A school entrance exam that requires countermeasures?
2日前、関温度で激しい爆発がありました。報道では北方からの砲撃とされていますが、実際は着陸によるものです。
That seems like a weird thing to do when there's no evidence of it and you're living in a world where people do this kind of stuff, albeit on a smaller scale on TV and stuff.
所詮はこの程度か。お前の祖父イルテがいかに劣っていたかがよくわかる。
Shut up, you stupid old ponytail wearing bitch!
悪無人、貴様何をやっていた。
Grabbing someone's collar-related sound effects brought to you by twisting an old piece of thick rope.
もし鍛えてもらえるなら毎日夕食は俺が作ります。外で食うよりずっと安上がりですよ。
Yeah, it'll be free. It'll be free much cheaper.
何やってんのよ森のやつ。てかなんであいつ携帯持ってないの。そんなに余裕はないみたいだけど、間もなく試合開始よ。アリーナに戻って。ジン・モリ君は来たの？
She asks if he's arrived yet after making a comment based on her saying, why doesn't he have his cell phone with him? Like, surely that's the giveaway in this situation.
必ず連れてくるからあんま瞬殺しないでくれると助かるな。
考えとく。
Well, you know, you should definitely not do that, because then he can come back in time and you won't get disqualified. That's a weird thing to say, I'm not gonna lie.
尋常に勝負願います。
これであんま時間稼げそうにないわ。
Isn't this a little bit of a strange reaction to seeing male muscles, considering during episode 1 she was melting over some dudes with their pecs showing and stuff?
そうか。じゃあ。
Achoo! This is a terrible cold!
謝れ謝れ謝れ謝れ。おい、何をしてる。
So just to be clear, he broke her leg after their match had ended randomly, and there was absolutely no police action whatsoever, but he goes to beat him up and they're called right away?
この試合は棄権するんだ。スーは
私は試合再開。私は格闘家だから。
The match oddly doesn't resume until she charges at him rather than the entire time from when she fully stands back up. Very nice announcer slash referee giving her time to recover and chat.
でもあなたは間違ってる。あなたはあなた自身のために戦うべきよ。
She was close enough to hear that entire conversation ringside when she's in a wheelchair and obviously not right by the arena.
私は魔女教滞在司教怠惰担当ベテルギウス・ロマネ・コンティです。
Person drinks alcohol and goes "Paha!" afterwards. Cliche. Exhale to the inhale. Cliche, mon. Gotta love how the ref has just straight up stopped giving any commentary or updates on stuff like Knockdown since the last episode.
あんたたちそんなんじゃ治るものも治らないわよ。
すいません。
Because sitting around drinking coffee and talking about how you're more healthy and less hurt than your prior opponent will hamper the healing process.
じっちゃんのことなんだ。
ジン・テジンさんの？
No, the other one that you don't know. Naruto, run.
ねえ母さん、母さんは行かないの？
いい人生を送りなさいね。
Man, mothers in this anime just can't stand living with their kids. This is like the fourth one, I think.
人の科学の前では古き神の力など無意味であると証明してみせよう。
You can be such a prick, you know that?
43の名において来たれおしくずよ。
Kinda weird thinking back that this was a tournament kind of anime, huh? Now there's gods everywhere swinging Thor's hammer and such. Well, I guess that's what happens when you cover so many chapters in just 13 episodes, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't entertaining all the same. No sin, by the way, just wanted to note that.
モリ、何ボサッとしてんの？
スーアたちの方も心配だ。今は。
Yes? Giving yourself away before you attack, Cliche.
落ちろ。
Wow, just like in Dragon Ball, this guy decides not to attack Goku while he's doing a special move.
少しは仲間に頼りなよ、ジンモリ君。
He never made out in any way that he didn't want help, and his best mates were literally just helping him out.
どんな願いでも構わん。ただし死者を蘇らせることはできんぞ。それ以外なら何でも。
Feels slightly lame to me that after all of that build-up, the grandfather was just dead. Like, oh yeah, he's gone. We didn't show it, but yeah, he kicked the bucket. Any other wish though?
私はいいよ。月光剣は自分自身の手で復興するって決めてるから。
俺もお前の好きにしていいぞ。
That seems like a silly thing to do. They all wanted something, and now they're just like, nah, he can have the only wish, bless his heart, because of Grandpaps.
この戦いで傷ついたみんなの体を元通りにしてくれ。
Good thing she didn't take him literally, because she healed the girl whose leg was broken by the long-haired douche all that time ago. That happened way before this battle ever took place.
本当に直した。
Damn it, why didn't they ask for a horrible sum of money?
ジンテジンは生きとるぞ。弱いが確かに存在を感じる。
Well then, that's very confusing wording when explaining your powers, considering he said he wants him back now, which could very easily mean teleport his old ass here, please.
面白そうじゃん。行こうぜ。
俺も興味あるな。いい修行になりそうな予感がしないか。
たく、あんたたちはこれだから、私がついてないとダメなのよね。
Why? Because they like to go on adventures, but you stop them? No, that can't be, because that would ruin season 2. So they want to go on adventures and train, but you think it'll be dangerous, so you'll come along, but that's also an assumption. You don't know what it'll be like. What are you talking about? Nathan Bird, Bird Without a Word, Arias, Ali Bari, Aidan White, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Chris Harris, Yola Schal, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Kim Munt, Jason Davies, Yuki Ali, Manuel Morales, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Sentimento, Java 6263, Amy San, Alfredo Jimenez, Silva, Master Tank, Boogie, Kevin Nauta, Stefia, Brendan Kriya, Storm 970, Mr. Waffle 64, Fongola Ninja, Kaj Warzone, Jordan Samuels, Sean Graves, The Epic Commander, Crimson Shadows, Kyle Farmer, Buzzbomb 3000, Adora Blue, Yagai 7636, Mr. Berigino.